Hi Aries, here is a general look at your solar chart for April 2015, and of course the sun is in your sign as it was when you were born, the only time of the year when the sun comes back round to where it was when you were coming into this life, into this world, into the energies of this world, and for good or ill. So may I wish you a very happy birthday, and I hope you have a great year. Now, this is a good time always for taking stock, but also to be more self-centered and do things just for me. So that would be you, and also to give more time and energy to those jobs or those goals that you've got in mind. And because with the sun so powerfully in your sign, it would tend to boost confidence. The sun is ruling the solar plexus area, okay? So now there is a headline this month, which is that there's going to be a total lunar eclipse. Last month we had a solar eclipse. This month we're going to have a lunar eclipse that's happening on the 4th in Libra, in your opposite sign. So this would indicate a new chapter in a relationship, or in fact a new relationship. And this is the time to initiate a strategy to support that alliance, or a series of improvements, or whatever they are. And this can be, a relationship which is important to you, in a close to your heart relationship, or it can be a working relationship, business relationship, or it can be with not necessarily just a human being. It can be with a job or a place or an idea, or it can be a relationship with yourself as well. Because as a matter of fact, we come into this world once again, and we sort of have to get to know who and what we are. Yeah, bit of a difficult one, that one, really. Anyway, it's a work in progress for us all, I think. So yes, and the idea is, if you take a positive step in the direction of how you would like things to be evolving and panning out over the next several months, then do that in the time before the eclipse, and you can find out when the eclipse is happening by going online. Until the 15th, Mercury is in your sign, and it can be, it's very chatty energy. It's an energy with ideas and information coming at you, and more to get your head around. Maybe thinking about communications equipment, vehicles, travel, transport, lists, paperwork, whatever it's about. There's likely to be a little bit more of that with Mercury in your sign, but also you can source important information. Also, you can be there as the information giver to others, because others come to you. So you really do need to engineer quiet spaces for yourself with Mercury in your sign, even though I do know you like to be in where the action is. This is a lot of mental, a lot of mental action. And until the 12th, Venus is in an area concerning money, property, possessions, other basic stuff. Mercury comes into that area too on the 15th. So if you want to negotiate, or you might find that you do have to negotiate, or maybe it's not like that. Maybe it's like you are buying, selling, renting, leasing. Maybe you are thinking more about basic stuff of life, thinking of making improvements to do with the the piggy bank, or possessions. Properties very strong with this one as well. Mars is there, and Mars is your ruling planet, so being more action orientated, getting onto it, and Mars doesn't like hanging around, so just watch your step, think something through. Probably you'll be all right from the 15th, when Mercury is in there anyway, because Mercury does like to sort of analyze and think things through. Venus is actually only there until the 12th, so as a matter of fact, Mercury comes in there after Venus has left. But even though Venus has left, she will take her tendency for you to be able to do okay financially, into the next house, which is going to be the communications house, if you want to steer her in that direction. But up until the 12th, when she's actually in your rather materialistic area, which is also to do with physical health and well-being, your own or somebody else's, well, it can be through diet, it can be through medicines, remedies, that kind of thing. That's how it relates to health and well-being, and also general sort of fitness. But and Venus is great in this area, this second house area, up until the 12th, because she will tend to bring goodies in, you know, in your direction, as long as you play your cards right. So you probably won't do too bad materially with Venus there. But even when she moves out and Mercury and Mars are in there, she goes into an area where you can be persuasive, articulate, where you can have more access to entertainments, or just a more light-hearted interaction with others. The tendency is like that. So if you are after something, you can be articulate, you can be persuasive, diplomatic, in any kind of sort of negotiations that's going on there. With this lunar eclipse energy in your opposite sign, this is the time for you to see how that you can balance your needs and your requirements and your lifestyle and your routines with that of somebody else's. So you might have been looking into this first last April. So if you cast your mind back, because that was the beginning of this series of 4 total lunar eclipses. So if you cast your mind back, this is when you can finesse it more. You can, this is sort of kind of finish, you know, do the finishing touches. Although there is one eclipse left to come, and that's going to be in September this year, which will be it will be similar, but it will be more intense probably. So the better you do the work on this side of your life, harmonizing things between you and another, or even you and yourself, the better off you'll be when you meet the final eclipse, which of and in itself is not a negative energy. It's the energy which allows for a gear change. That's, you know, how I see it. And then we get the sun coming into the same very materialistic area, to do with finances, to do with property, to do with basic stuff. And whether you're shoving it around, getting rid of it, getting your hands on more, protecting it, maintaining it, repairing it, whatever it's about, there is likely to be thinking and chatting, centering around that area there. Or it might be to do with health and fitness through what type of foodstuffs or water, or rather we drink, whatever you're drinking, and breathing and whatever else is going on for yourself, or, you know, somebody else that you are concerned about. The Venus energy from the 12th is very good for brothers and sisters, connecting with them, or soul brothers and sisters, or maybe you know, link with people who are more your kind of people. And again, there is this feeling of support. There's a feeling of support there. So yes, Mars can be demanding, particularly in the house to do with money and property and possessions and the like. But you do get this feeling of support, and anything to do with media, anything to do with the arts as well. Jupiter, planet of potential abundance and expansion, will very positively influence your sun sign. That's up until August. And in an area to do with you being the center stage, or you coming more from your creative center core, being able to do things which you like. Now, this is also the area of risks and gambling, so just, you know, don't, just be aware of it. Also, it's the area of maybe self-indulgent, burning the candle at both ends, so just be aware of that. But it's also a very creative area. It's an area where your entrepreneurial side can really come to the fore, Aries. And that is going to be affecting you, Arians born 23rd to the 26th of March, or with, sorry, wrong one. You, Arians born the 1st to the 4th of April, So not a lot of difference to last month, or 12 to 14 degrees rising, Aries rising. Okay, you'll feel that the most. And then Saturn. Now, before I get on to Saturn, I just want to say that there's another video I made called April 2015 in a Nutshell, which is talking a little bit more about the aspects going on. So keep yourself more kind of contained, and maybe alert or cool or just whatever you want to say, which is opposite to nervy and too strongly influenced emotionally. So you need to pull the energy more back to your center and to that sort of feeling of security and confidence, particularly between the 5th and the 8th. All right, and that's when that's when the Sun and Mercury are going over Pluto and Uranus. And you might feel a bit under pressure there, but also you need to be keeping an open mind as well, because what we're thinking is maybe just a perspective. However, it's a knottier problem when it hits what we're feeling. And it might be that you want to keep separate what you know you feel in your gut and what you have learned through having the knowledge taught to you somehow or other by example or just in a more formal educational setting. And you know, it's more difficult to get over a really strong feeling about something. However, you've got to try and keep an open mind and be flexible and realize that if something has been holding you back, even though it's something that maybe you hold to be highly worthwhile to you or somebody, that there has to be a way around this, or indeed a way to actually release something, so that you then feel a relief from that, and then you feel some power coming into you and some energy coming back into you, and then you, once that releasing has been done, you can move on. However that is, you know, coming across to you, right? So it's between the 5th and the 8th. Okay, and it will be more for you Arians born in the middle 10 days or with 15 to 18 degrees rising, or rather should I say 14 to 18 degrees rising, that may be feeling that a little bit more, or I have to say actually it'll go through the whole of the sign. And then for Saturn, again, Saturn, both these slow-moving planets, Saturn and Jupiter, are in a good angle to your sun sign, and you will, anything that you put on a pedestal, anything that you thought was written in stone, anything that you thought was absolutely your bottom line is possibly going to get changed, shall we say modified or rethought or relearnt during this cycle of Saturn, where you come down to Earth with a bump, depending on how high up in the sky you were with those castles in the air. But you'll definitely be developing a new understanding of certain things, and it will be gradual. So be steady and be patient with yourself, really. And also this is the area to do with education, to do with you as the student, but also you as the teacher. It's putting the word across the wider stage with your own knowledge, but it's also sourcing knowledge from across the wider stage. And this is a long transit. It will be finished in 2017, apart from a gap in this year, 2015, a short gap between June and September. But that might be you chipping away at putting out something in a more sort of serious way, and you take that responsibility for sharing those communications or that knowledge more seriously. All right, you really do take it on board, and you think, okay, this has got to be done now, no more putting it off. Or you might find that there are obstacles in your way to being able to get it right, striking the right note, or if you're happy with the note it's striking, getting the right you know, supporters or those in positions to be able to help take that further and put it out in a bigger kind of a way. Maybe you just have to bide your time and wait for those right persons to come along, and then hey presto, it all starts moving forwards. But Saturn usually does bring in delays wherever Saturn goes. And you Arians born the 23rd to the 26th of March, or with 2 to 5 degrees rising, are going to feel that energy the most. And that's it for April. If you know your rising sign or your moon sign, listen to those. Oh, and I forgot to mention, don't bite off more than you can chew around about the 17th or 18th, or maybe somebody, you know, has done that to you and actually they can't deliver on what was promised. So just be aware of that, those 2 dates there. And yep, that's it. You might like to read some of this. It's just the basic stuff written up on my website. And I will see you the next time.